Who are you? I have been called many names.
Here it is. So we'll test for radio waves and see if we get any hits or whatever. So I'm going to start off at the well with testing for radio waves. Any radio waves will turn red, but we have a white bar at the minute, which means there's no radio waves, intentional or random. So once we establish that, I'll now invite contact with anything that's on the frequency to see if it wants to communicate. If you're on this frequency, you can leave your voice. If your name's Hilda and you fell in the well, then you can come and give me a sign. Or maybe your name's Gertrude. So there was a slight exhale then when I said Gertrude, and definitely wasn't me, but I've asked for a sign, and I've asked for, you know, some relevance really. Anything will do for a sign, anything that's that more or less changes what's going on now, which is silence. Nothing, no radio waves. Nothing, no radio waves.
Powering on.
Some kind of car alarm going off.
Starting ITC3. Paradox. Powering on.
Some kind of car alarm going off.
Starting ITC3.
Now any kind of alarm system counts as a sign, especially if it's on cue. If you can hear my voice on this frequency, you can leave yours. There's quite a lot of flies knocking about now.
I'll take.
What was that, heartache? I don't know if this is picking up the whatever all these flies are around me. I've just got a feeling to go down there and go into the woods and see what the crack is, but I don't think I need to. Wow. Right, welcome to another video. If you watched my last video, I was at WaterGrove, so this is just a carry on from the last video really. So what I'm trying to show you now is the remains of the village basically that was, or that is hidden, submerged underwater. Now this is important because tonight's story is more or less from that era. So the story is called The Queen of the Well, but it's been told by different authors, and tonight I'm going to more or less tell you my version of accounts. There are other names like the Lady of the Well, but the stories, I'll show you the story now, but this is a description really of the shapeshifting Naiad from the Queen of the Well, and this is the story really. So it talks about the legend is based on a shapeshifting Naiad, female water spirit or nymph it's called, who haunts the waters of a well found on the top of Brownwaddle Hill. Now I'm going to stop it there, more or less tell you my version of accounts, but I'm just showing you where the story originates. And like I said, there's different authors that have told this story, so it's been told differently over time, and obviously the story does change a little bit. It depends on the audience really. But this is oral tradition in Wardle or Whitworth area, which has been told throughout generations. But in tonight's video, I'm going to show you what I see and what I think with the evidence that I've got. So this story can actually be found on audiobooks. That's how well this story is kind of well known. But tonight, I'm going to tell you my version of accounts and try and investigate the story as best I can and try and find the truth, really. Or if there is any truth for that matter, it might just be a fairy tale, but this is the original story, which dates back to 1313, or that's when the story originates. The story goes on to talk about two women that have ended up in a well. One says that there was some hawking going on by Sir Clifford Byron, but the Byron family didn't arrive in WaterGrove till the 16th century. However, we'll continue to tell the story that there was hawking going on, and I think she got distracted with one of the birds. So I think it's something to do with birds of prey when they go hunting, and one of the birds obviously has got lower or whatever, and she's been distracted and fell into the well. That's where the original story comes from. And then the second woman actually, which was drawn into the well by a shapeshifting Naiad, which we believe was the first woman that fell into the well that began the haunting in the first place. Now, I do think that's what the story's trying to say, but obviously if there's a shapeshifting Naiad, it must have originated from somewhere, which was the first woman to fall into the well from the hawking. But I'm not saying there was hawking, I'm just saying that's what one of the stories says. But there's another story that disputes the hawking and talks about something else entirely, so it's difficult to find out what actually happened. So there is a version of accounts as well where none of that happened, and it was a woman that slipped and fell into the well, and the hawking didn't happen in the first place, as I mentioned previously. So what I'm trying to get at is there's many different versions of accounts, so we'll investigate and we'll see what we can find. So this tale has been made to capture different audiences, and that's the reason why the story's been told differently throughout different authors. So there's many different springs in Brown Wardle, and obviously they must come from the top somewhere and obviously trickle down the hill, and it says trickling down the rill there actually, which is quite a good description because there's no other way to put it really. There are pockets and springs all over that area from Wardle to Whitworth, but tonight I'm going to try at the base of what I think is the foot of the hill. Now the location of the well that I'm going to tonight would have been modernised from the 1930s when they actually constructed WaterGrove. So in this story we've got the two female names that ended up in the well as Hilda and Gertrude. Now I'm not saying they were called Hilda and Gertrude, I'm just saying that's what the stories described them as. They could have been called something else, or if for example I get two female names in this investigation, it's possible that those could be the real names. Now obviously this is folklore, like I mentioned, it's oral tradition that's gone on for years, but there must be something about this story that's true. But obviously, like I mentioned before, this story's been modified over time. Now I think these stories are fantastic actually, the authors have told them, so this video is nothing against these stories at all, it's actually for these stories. I think these stories are brilliant. So this version of accounts talks about the shapeshifting Naiad, which is supposed to be the queen of the well, and obviously I do have an eyewitness account of somebody that's seen this in real time, and it's a true version of accounts which I'll tell again in this story. But let's start from the beginning really.
Here it is clearly. From that story you have both women were taken by the well. First, Gertrude de Berg, she vanished there some years before Hilda. Then, Hilda, she meets the queen of the well and is also drawn down into the water with her. It's not described as an accidental fall. The tale says they were called or drawn to it, and that mist you mentioned marks where they went. Both Gertrude and Hilda are said to remain with the queen in the well.
So it says the second one was drawn into the well by some kind of smoke or whatever, where they've got drawn to the well. But then there's another account that says they both got drawn to the well, and birds, it were nothing to do with hawking. So it depends on what story you look into. But tonight I'm just looking to match anything from the past, really. So anything to do with the story, any matches or anything on GhostTube, I'll kind of say, well, you know, maybe the story was true. Or if it's not true, it should only take me about 20 minutes really. So Should be a quick video if it's not true. And dusk is just setting now. I'll just show you now. So you'll see, obviously Brainwater, you've got two of the hills. Now it says in the story that the well is in 3 different places, funny enough. One says the summit of the hill, which would be at the top of the hill really, which would be round about there, which is too far away if you ask me. The other one says it's submerged underneath the water, which kind of makes sense, but again you can't really verify that. So, and then the third one is this graded entrance down here where we're going. So when I told Dola about this story, she said send me some pictures so I can make any scans and to see what your pictures show, to see if there's any matches of any kind of well, as she knows this story quite well, so she's looking for any matches, and this is what she said.
What your photos show. 1. That steel grid is 1930s reservoir safety work added later, but it sits directly on top of what was there before. 2. Peeking through the bars is old hand-laid Pennine stonework. This is the original lining of the well, not modern work. 3. It's a natural rising spring, water bubbling up just like the churning description. 4. It sits exactly at the foot of the hill, matching the 1313 rhyme perfectly. Final conclusion. This is the queen of the well. The modern grating covers, but does not replace, the ancient well itself. Every clue, location, structure, water source lines up exactly with the legend we've been researching. You've found the very spot the story was written about nearly 700 years ago.
Story from the witness account. I'm going to retell it because it got told to me yesterday. I got a little bit of it wrong, so I'm going to retell it now. So I'm going to do a voiceover actually, so which is probably best to be honest. So he drives up this lane here, up the cobble road to walk his dog, and this is what I believe, from what he tells me, is on the 1st of May, because I'm sure he told me it was the 1st of May when he went up, but it wasn't, it was just pure accident when this happened. So obviously he makes his way to the car park, parks his car up, and then gets out with his dog. And then they go on for a walk, which is where I'm going to show you in this video. So if you don't know WaterGrove, this is a car park area. There's probably about, I don't know, maybe 100 spaces. This place does get busy actually when it gets sunny. This place also has a nature reserve, as I showed you in the last video. So there is a road here that you can go left. So that's where we're going to go, and that's where the story starts really. Now there used to be a gate that you could open and close to come down this road, but it's always open now. But when this story was told, it was when you could open and close a gate. So he gets out with his dog and then approaches the gate, just as I mentioned, and then open the gate. You can obviously see it's now it's open, but back then you could just, you had to open it really like a cattle gate grate. The gate would then swing back and then go into a latch, and then you could hear it when it closed, and that's what would happen. It was like on a spring back in that day. So he walks 10 yards down, and then I'm pointing here and I'm telling you what he's describing, which is what appears to be, what he describes to me as bin bags on the floor. So he thinks someone's dumped rubbish on the floor, so he can obviously continues to walk and throw the stick for his dog on the right hand side, and that's why my camera keeps panning to the right there. He like throws a stick and then he looks back and then gets a little bit closer. As he gets a bit closer, he realises the bin bags, what he describes as shimmering. And I remember him telling me that he thought it was rubbish at first, which kind of made him angry that someone had been dumping rubbish. But then obviously when he seen that the bin bags were, as his description, is shimmering, then that obviously he wanted to get a bit closer. And when he's doing that, he's obviously throwing the stick for his dog towards that hill there on the right side. So as he's thrown the stick, he obviously looks back down as the dog brings the stick back, and now he can see a tall female woman really with long blonde hair, he said, and he obviously described as her is very long. As he continues to walk closer, obviously the gate clangs behind him. So then he looks down the road there where the camera's looking now, and obviously someone's walking towards him, a male, he says, with glasses on, with sunglasses, and The guy obviously makes his way towards him, but obviously at this point he's relieved because someone's just seen what he's seen. Some woman's just appeared from nowhere, really. He then looks back, and then this is where he gets a description of this man walking towards him. So kind of confused, he kind of stops really as the man walks right towards him, and he mentions that he has something in his top pocket, really. And then he just ignores him and walks right past him, and this is the guy that walked through the gate, walked right past my friend, and then made his way towards where the female was. And obviously after this, he said he just got in his car and went straight home. Get a tree branch cracking then. It's possible it could be a deer or a fox or whatever. Whoa. So that house that you see there, that's the old pumping house, the old valve station, but someone lives there now. So what we're looking for, it's just over here, I think. So it's hard to see actually where it is.
Desk.
Desk. Here it is. So we'll test for radio waves and see if we get any hits or whatever. So for any positive radio waves, you'll see a red bar or a continuous red bar at the bottom. It can come through anyway, which, to be honest, it can be random or it can be long consistently. But you can see here there's no red bar whatsoever, there's no red bars, there's no radio waves. So now I know there's no radio waves, I'll invite in now and I'll ask for a sign. It can be anything really. If you're on this frequency, you can leave your voice. If your name's Hilda and you fell in the well, then you can come and give me a sign. Or maybe your name's Gertrude. So there was an exhale, and which wasn't me. That notification you just heard then, that's usually a prompt. It means get ready because something's going to happen. No radio waves. Nothing, no radio waves.
Paradox. Powering on.
Some kind of car alarm going off.
Starting ITC3. Powering on.
Some kind of car alarm going off.
Starting ITC3. Starting ITC3.
you can hear my voice, then you can... What's with that alarm? I've had this before.
Stinger. Good.
Let's move back and see what it does. Because... I'm just trying to think what this original... Let's say it wasn't a well, yeah, what it actually was, what the purpose was. If you can hear my voice on this frequency, you can leave yours. There's quite a lot of flies knocking about now.
I'll take.
What was that, heartache? I don't know if this is picking up the whatever all these flies are around me. I've just got a feeling to go down there and go into the woods and see what the crack is. But I don't think I need to. Wow. 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 I don't know if you noticed all the flies knocking about. I don't know why they're getting so they weren't here when I started, there's fucking loads of them now. I don't know if it's the LED torch or what. Someone watching me now. Are you watching me? See what's weird, that alarm started going off when I came, and they've not turned it off yet.
Also night. Also night. Do you want to come and communicate if you're on this frequency? There is magnet. Whoa. Move.
Move.
Where to? Where do you want to move to? Back. Move back. Back. Move back.
Operation. Operation.
Operation.
Saying over here, come walk over here for some reason. I don't know why. Why's that car alarm still going off?
All right.
Alright. Are you alright? I don't get it. Why would it move me away from the well? Just get massive, well I won't say massive, just got free bloody.
Bloody.
Did you drown in this well? Did you fall down the well? Look at them all, there's fucking loads of them, man. So there is something in and around me actually watching me. It's on the move. It keeps appearing, then reappearing. Come on, communicate with these devices if you want. If you're watching me.
Official.
Yeah. What's your name? Are you the What's your name? You must have a name, right? You a shapeshifter? You the queen of the well? This is what I would call the foot of the hill, really. That's what it says in one of the rhymes. That it's at the foot of the hill. So I think we should go up to the road actually now. There's not really much going on at the hill. And there's just all these flies around me. So you wonder what stuff like this was for. I mean, this could have been filled in. This could be the well for. So you wonder what stuff like this was for. I mean, this could have been filled in. This could be the well for all I know and got filled in. You know, it's possible. If that's just a spring, then this could be a well. Because why would you have to have concrete here? I don't get it. I mean, I'm just spectating really, but when you see stuff like that, like old bricks and stuff, so it's just odd. Really, but when you see stuff like that, like old bricks and stuff, so it's just odd. So let's just try course here, see if anything happens here, because I won't really get a picture over there, but if I get one here then it's possible that this could be the location. I don't think the range really matters because there's what I say, about 30 yards between them or whatever. I thought I seen someone up there, but it was just the pieces of wood really that go along the road. So let's go back up onto the road where it was, you know, the bin bags were supposed to shimmer. Oh, we have got probably the biggest reading so far. Oh, we have got probably the biggest reading so far.
So that's telling me that's where the shift happened, or where the shapeshift happened, as the eyewitness account told me before.
So I walk down this road and then walk back and then see what results we get, if any. But there was something observing me since I've arrived. There you go again. And it just fades away. So is that alarm anything to do with what I'm doing? Because this has happened previously in other videos, this, where alarms start going off. That's the end of the road. It's just probably about 20 yards now. So we'll turn round. Oh, the alarm's gone off now.
Are you trying?
Are you trying? Was that you with the alarm?
That's so strange, that, because the alarm goes off and straight away it says, "Are you trying?" Now there is a key bit of detail that's going to happen in a minute that I think is going to put some clarity on the story. So we have two females, Hilda and Gertrude. We're yet to get some female names, and it says the 1st of May in the story. Well, we're here to dispute that because the evidence I'm going to show you in a minute says something else.
You can come and give yourself some relevance if you want, if you're here. Nothing.
Next to mine.
Next to yours. Are you talking to me? Where are the pings coming from? I don't get it. Is this where you shifted? Are you a female? Do you know the year's 2026? Mary. Is that your name? I thought it's an eyes on in the woods, but obviously not. So maybe a full moon's probably best. Maybe the 1st of May's best. Who are you talking about? Do you know anything about the 1st of May? Do you know anything about the 1st of May?
Leave now.
Yeah, I am doing, yeah.
Leave now.
Yeah, I am doing, yeah. Did that upset you when I asked about the 1st of May? Did that about the 1st of May? Did that bother you?
September.
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 September. That's mad. I was talking about the dates and it said do you mean the 1st of September? Is that what you mean? Is it not the 1st of May? What date? What date in September? What happens in September? What date? What date in September? What happens in September? If there's something I really want, is a picture before I go. Can you come and draw a picture before I go? And then I'll leave then. You can come and draw a picture of a well if you want.
Catherine.
Catherine. There's female names actually, which is good.
Catherine.
Catherine. There's female names actually, which is good. Maybe that's who they were called when they weren't called Hilda and Gertrude after all, which the story says. And they were called Mary and Catherine. What happens in September? What happens in September? Is your name Catherine? Is that what you're called? I'm sure that's a dog, right? Is your name Mary? And there's two things that are coming to relevant here. The alarm went off when I arrived, and dog barking, so the dog's reacting to something over by the valve house. Now I don't know what it is because I'm not there, but I showed what happens with dogs at Pendle Hill. Can you come and draw a picture on this device, please? And I'll know you're here then. So we'll look to end the video now. I'll go over the footage and see what happened. I only need one small thing really for me to come back.
Strangled.
Strangled? That doesn't make any sense. If you said drowned, I could understand. Yeah, but strangled, I don't get it.
No.
Huh? Not much just shouting and screaming about really, but whoa. They're always behind me. There's always something watching me behind me, like when I've got my back turned. And this is what's good about the radar. It just tell me, you know, if something's off or whatever, or if something's. I can tell as well with the reading. Off or whatever, or something. I can tell as well with the reading.
Father.
There was a church nearby, obviously, with the old town. They did have a church or a chapel, which I want to assume that that's what Ghost Jew's picking up.
Father.
There was a church nearby, obviously, with the old town. They did have a church or a chapel, which I want to assume that that's what Ghost Jew's picking up. But like I said, this place dates back to the 1200s, so you know it's very old indeed. So we'll see what we captured anyway, and see what we can come up with a conclusion with, if anything really. So I'll end the video now. So when I read the original story to this, I had holes to pick in it, but now after making this video, I've got questions of my own really. The first question was that alarm anything to do with what I was doing? Because as soon as I pressed the on switch on the RTC device, that alarm went off. And then the second thing as well that I thought was it told me to move back really from the well, and that's significant because if someone fell down there, then that's like a word of warning. Although, you know, you couldn't fall down it now, I don't think that's relevant. I think relevant is it's like a warning, move back, obviously so you don't fall down it. Or there's been an accident here in the past and you might want to stay away. So that, for me, makes total sense. Them EVPs, really. That also begins to tell me that this is actually the well. This is the actual Queen of the Well where it actually happened, and that would have looked different back in the day, but this is the location if you ask me.
Now, the last thing I want to talk about was I'm going to say the dog cries or the fox cries, whatever they were. They were on cue then when I was asking about the 1st of May. It's almost like that triggered something inside where an animal was responding to or trying to show me the pain that it caused. So was something shifting, shape shifting, if that makes sense, because they didn't like talking about that specific date, because that date really held a trigger, if you ask me. And in the story, it does mention about the 1st of May, that's the only time that you can see the Queen of the Well. Now, personally, I'm not saying that's true or false, actually, but this story does hold a bit of weight, actually, after investigating this area. Now, I could come back on a full moon and get better evidence, but this was just the first time out for me, just to see about this story and just to see how much truth that he had. And I was really convinced, actually, just on this visit. So I think coming back here in September, around Halloween season, I think would be a really good idea on a full moon. I'm sure there's more to uncover about this story and this location. But I really believe that to be the well, to be honest, and that's because of the EVPs when it was telling me to move back, actually. This makes perfect sense at the foot of the hill, and it makes perfect sense from the range, from the village, from the drone village of WaterGrove. Anyway,